Welcome back, guys. So in this video we'll be looking at how to install WordPress on your computer using the Xampp server as your local host, right? So we are going to learn where to download WordPress, how to now install it step by step, and we are going to look at the way to create database on the Xampp server that's using MySQL. So these are simple tricks that you need to understand. I fell into some simple issues that I'm going to talk about in this video, and I want you to look closely on how you can actually do that so that you shouldn't find it difficult installing WordPress on your local host server, right? So follow everything step by step and you should be good to go and understanding how the whole process works, guys. So let's get on my computer and I'll show you the whole process step by step. So for us to install WordPress on our Xampp server, it's as simple as for we to go on the browser and download the main software itself for WordPress, right? So basically what we need to do now is to head on to Chrome like this and then go to wordpress.org. So when you go to wordpress.org, remember this is the official website where we can download WordPress from, right? So don't go to wordpress.com. You should visit wordpress.org, right? Because wordpress.org is the official website where you can get the main software for WordPress. Remember in our first video about what WordPress is. Okay, so here I'm going to click on the first link, wordpress.org. So when it opens, we'll go to the place that you see get WordPress. So basically that is the link that you need to click on, the button rather, and then you download WordPress. So if you have not downloaded WordPress, if this is the first time you're watching this video and you've not downloaded WordPress, make sure you click on this get WordPress for you to get WordPress downloaded on your computer. So in my own case, I've already downloaded WordPress. So the only thing is for me to go through the process of installing Xampp on one local server. So now next thing is to start our Xampp server. So I'm going to Xampp server now. Okay, so this is Xampp. If you have not installed Xampp on your computer, there's a video before this one that talks about how you can install Xampp. So just check the card above so that you can install Xampp for yourself, right? Okay, so I'm going to start the Xampp server now. So I just clicked and waiting for it to load. I'm going to close this tab here and open a new tab. I'm going to close this, right? And I'll be switching off my main network in a bit. So the moment Xampp comes up, I'm going to turn off my main network. So as you can see here, this is the Xampp server. The control panel has just come up, and the next thing is to start Apache. But before that, let me turn off my network here so that we can go through this process using the local server, right, instead of using a public network. But even though you can leave your public network and it will still work fine, right? I just want to switch off my own network so that you know that maybe I'm not using an internet-enabled network, right? So I'm using the local server. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off now, and I will start Apache and MySQL. So these are the two things that we need for this operation. So the moment it shows green, that means all of the service is working perfectly. So you click on start for Apache and then MySQL. Okay, so MySQL is showing green now, and we are waiting for Apache to show green also. Okay, so while this is coming up, if you've downloaded the WordPress software, right, it will be in a zip format, right? So I'll click here to go to my file, my downloads, so that we can decompress the WordPress file that we downloaded. So under my downloads, I will go to where you can see this the file I downloaded for WordPress. I'll go to downloads so that I can locate that file there, right? So under downloads, I'll look for where compress is. So the file when downloaded is going to be in a compressed format. So the moment if you don't have WinRAR installed on your computer, make sure you get WinRAR. It's an unzipper, right? WinRAR, or maybe your file decompressor that comes with your phone, with your laptop, right? Or I don't know. So basically, I'll be going to compress so that I can locate the file that I downloaded from Get WordPress, right? Okay, so it's now working on it and fetching the files, right? So I will scroll down to locate where WordPress is. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, I think it's not here. So basically, maybe I downloaded it on my desktop computer, on the desktop section, right? So because sometimes I do download some files and then install and keep it on the desktop, right? So let me locate it here. Okay, so here you can see WordPress 6.6.2. So basically, this is where I downloaded it to. I downloaded it to my desktop. So now this is the main folder itself. I'm going to decompress this. That is, it simply means I'm going to unzip it. So basically, this is where I unzipped the last time. So it is showing an empty folder because I have already extracted all the informations I needed from this particular folder the last time, right? So I'm going to delete this folder, and then I'm going to decompress the main compressed folder. So I'll click on Shift Delete to permanently delete this folder. Okay, and the next thing now is for me to decompress the compressed WordPress folder here. I'll click and then right click so that I can use WinRAR to decompress this particular folder here. So it's just about 24.9 megabytes if you were to download it from that website, which is absolutely fine, not much. So I'm going to extract this the files here, and I will extract it to this folder here, which is this WordPress 6.6.2. So the main unzipping process is going to take place now. So while this is taking place, I will quickly come to the Xampp folder. So the Xampp control panel. So basically, if you look at this place here, right, this was what I talked about in the last video. I talked about an error that might occur. You can see error, my SQL shut down unexpectedly, right? So this may be due to a block port missing. So this language, I shouldn't explain it much, right? So I talked about one way that you can troubleshoot this kind of issue whenever it comes up. What you need to do is you can just simply stop Apache, and then you start MySQL and Apache at the same time again, or you shut down the system, like the software itself, like completely shut it down by closing the software and then restarting it again. So if it doesn't work, I talked about how you troubleshoot all of this in the last video about how to install Xampp, right? So if you have not watched that video, make sure you watch that video. I'll be linking it in the card and also the comment section and description of this video. So you can see now everything is showing green. So one of the ways of troubleshooting has worked, which means we can still continue with the process. Okay, so now I have decompressed the folder here, and it is showing under WordPress. So let's locate where WordPress 6.6.2 is. Okay, I think this should be the folder that we just decompressed. So I'm going to open the folder now. Okay, so you will see another folder called WordPress there. Okay, so you can see this is the folder called WordPress, and the moment you click and open, you will see that there is a lot of files. There's the index, there's a lot of files, right? So this is the index, right, written in PHP. You can see WP activate, there's WP blog header, and actually if you know how to write a PHP code, you should be able to understand all of this, right? So but this is not what we are extracting. Rather, we are coming down to the main folder, and now there's a trick, right? Let's assume now you want to now build your site, right? Because the installation process, now we are going to create a database and we are going to use this WordPress folder, right? So let's assume that the project I want to work on locally is a recipe website, or maybe a car dealer website, right? So basically what I need to do now is that we are going to rename this folder as a car dealer folder, right? So I'll just name this car dealer. So depending on the kind of project that you want to work on, right? If your website is, let's assume your website is for is a restaurant website, or a car wash website, or a portfolio site with your name, just simply name the folder as your name, right? So as you are following through this process, you should be able to understand how you can install this, right? So I have just named this car dealer, which is okay. So now I'm going to now cut, right? You can copy, but as in my own case, I want to cut because I don't think I'm going to use this folder for something else again. So I want to cut this folder and then take it to the Xampp main location, right? So I'm going to cut this, right? I've already cut this folder now. I will go to the local drive, right? So I'll go to local drive by by pressing my Windows button, which is the start button, and E, right? So you can also click on this Windows the file explorer icon here so that you can open and go directly to your local disk. So I'll come to my local disk. I'll locate where Xampp software is, right? So open this Xampp folder, and the next thing is to locate a particular folder called htdocs. So I will scroll down under these folders here, and yeah, this is the folder here, htdocs. I think it is the fifth folder or the sixth folder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So it is the sixth folder in the main Xampp folder itself, right? So I'm going to open this folder now, and the car dealer folder I cut from here or copied, right? If you're in your own case you copied, it's fine. I'm going to now paste it here, right? I'm just going to paste it here by doing Ctrl V or coming to this paste option here. So I'll paste everything here, and that's this part is already done. You can see car dealer here, right? So now the next thing is to go to the browser and create a database for this particular website that I want to create, right? Because when you are having a website, a database is what holds all of the information, right? Like users that we have on the website. Let's assume you have already created an admin access, right? All of that is being stored in the database, right? The username, the password, the phone number, the email address, all of those things are kept in the database. So database needs to be created. So this is the next thing I want to do now, is to create the database for this particular project, right? Which is the car dealer project. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and I'll close this particular folder also, and I'll go to the browser, and I'm going to type localhost, right? So now we are using this Xampp as a server, right, for this particular operation. So now it's taking us to where we are going to create a database first, right? And then we now install the WordPress on that particular server, right? So next thing is to click on this PHP my admin. So this is what the page that you're going to get to, the place that you can create a database, right? So what you need to do next is to click on this place, this tab that you see, databases. So I'm going to click on that now, and it will show us where we can create a database, right, for this particular project. So your database should carry the same name as the folder in your Xampp folder. Make sure that you follow this step by step to understand how you can successfully download install WordPress on your own computer, right? So this is where you can create the database. You have to give the database a name, right? So I'm going to give this car dealer, right? Exactly the name as that folder that we just created and saved on the htdocs folder, right? So I'm going to click on create, and it's going to list the database here, right? Because these are databases, so it's going to list this particular database here also, right? Okay, so it's still processing the request. You can see database car dealer has been created. So basically now we now have this car dealer database, and you can see it now reflecting here, car dealer database, right? So the next thing that we need to do is to come on, and then we search for localhost /car dealer, right? So it is going to locate now this car dealer under the main folder itself, under the htdocs folder, right? So you can see now where it has taken us to, right? So you can see it has shown us that welcome to WordPress. Before getting started, you need to know the following items, right? So I'm going to click on this let's go, so that we can continue with the process of installation. So if you can see here, it is showing that we need to add up the database name and then the username, right? So you should look at this particular place closely, because this is this part, some people used to find it very, very difficult, right? You see this page and then the last page that we just passed through, right? Some people used to find it very, very difficult. For you to fill up this your database name, right? Your database name is simply this car dealer database, right? So you should make sure that it should correspond with what you are using as your database name. So here I'm going to add car dealer, right? Sorry, I'm going to add car dealer like this. And for the username, right? The username is having a default name of root. So this is the default name for databases, right? For this particular local host that we are installing. So you should make sure that you shouldn't go and put a name, just like a random name or something like that. And you can leave this place empty, right? Because we are not talking about security when we are not live, right? Leave this particular place empty, which is the password section. Leave it empty, and all other things you should let it be the way it is, right? Table preface, which is WP, localhost, let it be password empty, root, and then the database should be exactly as your database that you just created, which is very, very important. So the next thing now is to click on submit, right? So it's going to submit this, and we are going to complete the installation of WordPress on our local server. So we are going to see this page next, which will show you all right, Sparky, you have made it through this part of the installation. So WordPress can communicate with your database. So you can see it means that the database name is now correct with the database that you created on PHPMyAdmin, and also the root is same as the main root username, right? So we are going to run this installation. So this is the next page that you're going to come to, right? Showing you your site title, your username that you want to use, the password that you want to use, your email address, right? And then you can see this particular page that is saying search engine visibility, right? So we are going to talk about this mostly if we are going on a live, we are using a live hosting service, right? So, but for this particular installation, there is no need for us to stress ourselves over all of this, right? So now we are going to now look at the site title, right? So I'm going to give this dealer, right? Car dealer, and the username just need to just say deals, just like this, deals _ 01. Then we can let this password be. So the next thing that you need to do is to save all of this somewhere, right? Make sure you save your details somewhere. It's very, very important, right? So that you shouldn't be thinking maybe you can memorize everything anytime, right? Just save this somewhere, and you should be good to go, right? So don't keep everything to your memory. Make sure you do save all of your details so that you shouldn't be stressing your brain a lot. And I'll just put a random email address here. I'll just do something like cardeals123@gmail.com. So if you've already saved your details, this is not necessary for you to hold on to, right? So I'm going to click on install WordPress. So congratulations, you can see that the installation is now a successful one. So you can see WordPress has been installed. Thank you and enjoy. So what we need to do next is to log in, right? So I'm going to click on login. So here I'm going to fill up the details, the username and the password. So I'm going to copy the username here, C, D, and then the password. Copy the password here, C, V. Then I'm going to click on login. Okay, so congratulations. This is the whole process of installing WordPress using the Xampp server, right? So in our next video, we are going to look at the necessary settings that you need to look out for. I'm going to take you through an overview of the dashboard